Can the mind, again we must come back to the point, can the mind understand the nature of pleasure and its relationship to love? Can a mind that's pursuing pleasure, ambitious mind, a competitive mind, a mind that says, I must get something out of life, I must reward myself and others, I must compete. Can such a mind love? It can love sexually. But is love of sex, is that the only thing? So, and why have we made sex such an enormous affair? Volumes are written on it. Unless really one goes into this very, very deeply, the other thing is not possible even to understand. We can talk endlessly about what love is not, theoretically. But if we use the word love as a mirror to see what is happening inwardly, and I inevitably must ask the question whether it's pleasure in its multiple forms. Can a man who is top executive got to that position through drive, through aggression, through deception, through ruthlessness, can he know what love is? And can the priest who talks everlasting love of God, he's ambitious to become a bishop, archbishop, or whatever his ambitions, or sit next to Jesus.
Who will sit on the right hand.
Right hand. So can that priest who talks about it know what love means?
No, he thinks he can, with reference to something called a higher love, which is based on a denial of a lower one.
Yeah, I mean, that's
so
just words.
In that conflict, there can be no love.
So, then our whole social, moral structure is immoral.
Oh, yes,
I mean, this is a thing that is appalling. And nobody wants to change that. On the contrary, they say, yes, let's carry on. Put on a lot of coating on it, different colors more pleasant, and let's carry on. So, I mean, if a man is really concerned to come upon this thing called love, he must negate this whole thing, which means he must understand the place of pleasure, whether intellectual pleasure, acquisition of knowledge as pleasure, acquisition of a position as power. You follow? The whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And how is a mind that has been trained, conditioned, sustained in this rotten social conditioning, how can it free itself before it talks about love? It must first free itself from that. Otherwise your talk of love, it's just another word, it has no meaning.
We do seem, in Western culture particularly, to be very sex-bound. On the one hand, we're threatened with unhappiness if we don't succeed sexually.
Yes, that's right.
Yet on the other hand, the whole history of clinical psychology focuses precisely on the pathology of sexuality.
Of course.
As somehow able in itself, as a study, to free us.
Yeah.
the interrelationship between those two activities, the desire to succeed on the one hand and the necessity to study what's the matter with the drive on the other, brings about a paralysis.
Yes. So you see, this thing, sex, has become, I don't know, such enormous importance right through the world now. In Asia, they cover it up. They don't talk about it. If you talk about sex, is something wrong. Here you talk endlessly about it. But there, you don't, certain things you don't talk about. You talk about it in the bedroom, or perhaps not even in the bedroom. But you never, I mean, it's not done. And when I talk in India, I bring it out. They're a little bit shocked because a religious man is not supposed to deal with all that kind of stuff.
He's supposed to be beyond.
No, he is supposed to, but he doesn't talk about it. Now, that's one of the things. Why has sex become so important? You see, love is, after all, a sense of total absence of the me. Total absence of the me. My ego, my ambitions, my greed, all that which is me. Total negation of all that. Negation, not brutal denial or surgical operation, but the understanding of all that. When the me is not, the other is. Obviously, it's so simple. So the Christian sign, the cross, I was told, is a very, very ancient symbol, previous to Christian acceptance of that symbol.
Yes.
It meant wipe out the I.
I had never heard of that. Wipe out.
Wipe out the I, the me. The I, wipe it out. You understand, sir?
Yes, in a non-canonical statement of Jesus, it's written that he remarked that unless you make your up down and your down up, your right, left, left, right, the complete, total turning of something upside down that one has been accustomed to do, a 180-degree turn, then one doesn't come to the kingdom of heaven, which of course in his language is not over here to be expected. He said precisely it doesn't come by observation. It's not here, it's not there. It's within one, or in the Greek it doesn't mean in as a locus, but it's a presence.
It's a presence, yes.
Yes.
So when we are inquiring into this question of love, we must inquire into pleasure. Pleasure in all its varieties. And its relationship to love, enjoyment to love, real joy, this thing which can never be invited, and its relation to love. So we better begin with pleasure. That is, the world has made sex into an immense thing. And the priests, right through the world, have denied it.
Yes.
They won't look at a woman. Though they're burning inside with lust and all kinds of things, they shut their eyes. And they say, only a man who is a celibate can go to God. Think of the absurdity of such a statement. So anybody who has sex is damned forever.
Then you have to invent some story as to how it was we so-called fell into it.
I fell into it, or Virgin Mary. You follow the whole idea?
The whole thing.
Which is a farce. So why have we made it such a fantastic, romantic, sentimental affair, sex? Is it because intellectually we are crippled? We are second-hand people. You follow, sir? I repeat what Plato, Aristotle, Buddha, somebody said. And therefore my mind intellectually is third-rate.
Exactly.
So it is never free. So intellectually I'm a slave. Emotionally I become romantic. I become sentimental. And the only escape is sex, where I'm free. If the woman or the man agrees, if they are compatible on all the rest of it, then it is the only road, only door through which say, for God's sake, at least I am free here. In the office I'm bullied, you follow, sir? In the factory I just turn the wheels. So this is the only escape for me. The peasant in India, the poor villager in town and in villages, look at them, that's the only thing they have. And religion is something, yes, I agree, we should be celibate, we should be all the rest of it, but for God's sake, leave us alone with our pleasures, with our sex. So, if that is so, and it looks like that we're intellectually, morally, spiritually crippled human beings, degenerate, and this is the only thing that gives us some relief, some freedom. In the other fields, I have no freedom. I have to go to the office every day, I have to go to the factory every day, I have to, you follow? Cinema once, 3 times a week, or whatever it is you do. You've got, and here, at last, I'm a man, woman. So I made this thing into an enormous affair. And if I'm not sexual, I find out why I'm not sexual. I spend years find out. You follow, sir? Books are written. It has become an nauseating thing, stupid thing. And we have to also, in relation to that, let's find out what is celibacy. Because they have all talked about it. Every religion has talked about it, that you must be celibate. And they said, Christian will say, Virgin Jesus was born immaculate. You follow it? And the Buddhists, I don't know if I was told of a story that the Buddha, the mother, conceived because she, out of, not human relationship, out of same thing. They don't want sex to be associated with a religion.
So,
and yet every priest is burning with it. And they said, you must be celibate. And they take a vow of celibacy. I told you the story of that.
oh yes, oh yes, yes. A deeply moving story.
So,
yes.
And what is celibacy? Is it in there, in your heart, in your mind, or just the act?
If I've been following you correctly, it seems to me that you pointed to sex here as undergone in a utilitarian way. It's a means to. It's a means to, and therefore, since...
A routine, insistence, encouragement, you follow?
Yes. Always a goal that lies outside the activity. Therefore, it can never be caught up to.
Therefore, conflict.
Therefore, conflict and repetition.
And therefore, what is celibacy? Is it the act or the mind that is chaste. You follow?
It must be the
And the
mind.
chaste,
that is
chaste
chaste.
mind, which means a tremendously austere mind. Not the austerity of severity and ruthless acceptance of a principle and all the rest of it.
This goes back to the earlier conversation
Yes,
where we talked
yes.
about hurt.
That's right.
The chaste mind would never be hurt.
Never. And therefore an innocent mind,
Yes.
which has no picture of the woman or the man or the act, none of that imagination. So,
This is very, very fundamental. I know in our conversations that I keep bringing up things that I've read and studied, because that has largely been the occupation of my life. And the thing that moves me so deeply in listening to you is that so many of the things that have been said over the centuries and written over the centuries ought to have been understood in the way that you have been presenting them. We even have a tradition, for instance, in Christian theology, that what is called the fall of man began at the point of imagination.
right?
And yet that hasn't been properly understood, it seems to me. Otherwise, had it been properly understood, we would not be in this immense conflict that we're
Christians have first invented the sin and then all the rest of it.
in. It has been the cart
It's
before the
so-
horse. Yes, I do see what you're saying.
So can the mind be chaste? Not can the mind take a vow of celibacy and remain and have burning desires, you follow? And we talked about the other day, about desire. We are burning with desire. All our glands are full of it. So, chastity means a mind that has no hurt, no image, no sense of pictures of itself, its appetites, its all. Can such a mind exist in this world? Otherwise, love is not. I can talk endlessly about love of Jesus, love of this, love of that, but it becomes so shoddy.
Because it's love of.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Love as an activity is not the same as love undertaken as a means.
Yes, sir. So love is love pleasure. I can only answer, it is not, when I've understood pleasure. And understand not verbally but deeply, inwardly, see the nature of it, the brutality of it, the divisive process of it. Because pleasure is always divisive. Enjoyment is never divisive. Joy is never dividing. It's only pleasure that's dividing.